everybody, happy Monday, and here we are for another bite-sized training for your private practice. And if we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Brooklyn. I put this group together and I love it so much, and I'm loving seeing all of your progress with these action steps. I'm so pleased that you really get so much out of these trainings. So June is Money Mindset Month, and one of the things I want to talk with you about today is EAP. And this is something I'm really passionate about when it comes to counselling because of a few reasons. Number one, I think there's some misperceptions in the community around, EAP and the advantages and benefits that it can have for us working in the online space in private practice. So let me talk you through some of those today. First of all, when you sign up and you contract to an EAP provider like Acacia Connect or Decord or Assure or Converge or whoever you're with, they're going to ask you for a fee, or they're going to ask for a suggested fee or something like that. Now, don't always feel like you've got to be the lowest. You don't have to be the cheapest person on the block to get your diary full. It's better that you go mid-range, and usually they'll give you a range and they will say something to you like, well, it's usually between $60 and $90. So you want to sort of hit the middle there. Don't be afraid of losing work if you go to the top. So it's always less money doing this work. However, it actually is better than any advertising. You're going to get better results for your business because you can convert these clients who come and see you one-to-one that you get horrible money for. You're going to be able to convert those clients into private fee-paying clients once they've finished their initial sessions with you. So most EAP providers will contract you to deliver a fixed number of sessions. Depending on who you're with, that's going to be 3, 4, 6, or up to 12. So when I was doing work for Acacia Connect, we were allocated 12 sessions because we were doing work for the police. But when I was working with Decord, we were only allocated 3 sessions to work with people. And the money was horrible. Even as a psychologist, the money was horrible. However, once you complete that fixed set of sessions, what happens for you then as a practice owner is you have the conversation with the client, and this is what you say. Right, as you know, we were allocated these 3 sessions. Today is our last session, and so I want to make that clear. It's really important that you get the most out of our time together today. What is going to be the most important thing for you to walk away with? Where do you want to go with this, etc. You conduct the session, check in with them at the end again, say, hey, do you feel like that's been addressed, or do you feel like there's still some work to do? But don't leave it all up to them, because remember, a lot of the time your client is going to be feeling like they're looking to you for guidance. They see you as the trained health professional, so they don't know what they don't know. And so part of your responsibility and your obligation is to provide guidance. And so you do that by saying, well, it's interesting that you say that. I guess as your therapist, as your counsellor, what I know to be true generally is that anxiety isn't very often fixed in 3 sessions. We can certainly put some coping strategies in place, but I think it'd be really great if we got to the core of it. What do you think? And see what they say. And they might say, well, how many sessions does it normally take? And you can say, what's different for everybody? But what I would suggest is maybe moving forward, we book maybe 2 or 3 sessions, you and I, and just sort of review things at the end point there and see how you're feeling and see if we can get some more traction happening for you. How does that sound? They're going to say, well, that sounds good. Do I need a referral from my doctor? And you're going to say, actually, no, you don't. That's the wonderful thing about counselling. You don't need a referral from your doctor. It's not going to go on any of your medical records or anything like that. In fact, this is private. This is one of the beautiful things about private counselling. There is a fee, and the fee is, say whatever your fee is, and you say, and if you have health insurance, you may be eligible to claim some of that back. So we can absolutely check with your insurer to do that. So how's that sounding for you? And see what they say. And if they say, yeah, actually that sounds pretty good, fantastic. What you're going to do then is you're going to give them your consent form. You're going to give them any information you have about the service you're connecting them with, whether that's one-to-one counselling, or whether it's a group program you've got, or whether you want them to purchase something that's evergreen, existing on your website. You're going to collect their payment details, get payment up front for that first appointment. Let them know. So say, well, pay up front, so we'll book that first session in for you. I'll process the payment now. Let me go and print off the receipt. So you're leaving with the appointment, you're leaving with the receipt, and I'm also going to give you an extra resource to take away to support you in between today and when we see each other next. And so what happens is you have taken that EAP client who you might have been getting $60 for, who you might have had a fixed number of sessions of 3. And so their lifetime value was $180. But now you've extended the lifetime value of that client. This is a business head, right? This isn't a therapy head. This is your private practice business owner head. You've increased the lifetime value of that client now, because now they've gone from $180 to, if you charge $120 a session, multiply that by 3, that's 360 plus 180. Somebody help me out with the maths. I think it's 540. You've just nearly tripled the lifetime value of that client. Plus, so that's from the business perspective, as I said. It's not about making money, but you're running a business. We need to pay the rent. We need to keep the lights on. You need to be paying your membership fees and paying for your supervision and mentoring and coaching and goodness knows what. So you have to be making money. But from a therapeutic perspective and from an ethical perspective, I think it works out better, because I don't know about you, but I don't believe anybody's fixed in 3 sessions. I don't believe a situation is fixed in 3 sessions, is what I meant to say. I don't believe that you can ever really get to the bottom of things in 3 sessions. So I think we have an ethical responsibility to support our clients in creating pathways of continued care for themselves. And so I'd absolutely invite them and encourage them where it's appropriate to book in for another couple of sessions or another 3 sessions with an option to review from there. Okay, so that is the beauty of EAP. Now, there's also a big myth that I want to speak to. If you charge lower, you will only get more referrals if you're in an area where referrals are coming and there are other people in private practice that are charging more. Then of course naturally you're going to get the bulk of the referrals, because it's going to cost that EAP provider, whether it's Converge or Salvos or Acacia Connect or whoever it is, less to get the same service. Do you want to be known as the cheapest counsellor? Probably not. Like, that's not a good reputation. You don't want to be leading with that. You want to be leading with that you're an effective counsellor, and that you can absolutely charge in the middle or towards the upper end of the range, because Converge or Acacia or whoever it is that you're with are going to be confident that that client is going to get the level of service and the level of care that they really, really need. And they're going to be getting feedback from the clients about their experience of working with you. It's not a matter of how do I get more referrals from my EAP provider. Referrals can only come through if bookings come through to that provider. If they're not marketing, and if they're in an area where there's not a great uptake, or if you're in a physical area where there's not a great uptake, then you could do all the things in the world. But if they're not there, the referrals, they're not there. So the way around this to increase your money flow for your private practice is to register with a whole bunch of EAP providers. And that will increase your opportunity for getting more referrals. But over time, you have to have a strategy, use a strategic mindset. Over time, you want to phase out the EAPs as they're converting over into private counselling clients. And you want to reduce, you want to go from having like a full-time caseload of EAP right down to maybe 1 day a week, because as people are finishing their private, you're going to need topping up. You're going to need replenishing. This helps you with projected income for your practice. This helps you with money flow, and it feels ethical and aligned because you're not leaving somebody high and dry after 3 sessions. Also, some people will say, well, after they finish their 3 sessions with me, they're just going to go off to their doctor and get a mental health care plan and go and see a psychologist or a social worker for no outlay. So why would they come and see me? They're going to come and see you because they've already got the relationship with you. They don't want to tell their story again. There's a value in that. There's value in working with somebody who they've already come to know, who they've already come to trust, and who they've already come to value. So that's the difference between you and a cold referral. They don't want to go and start all over again. They like the approach that you've got. They want to continue to work with you, and it's your I don't know, it's not responsibility, but you get to offer them the opportunity to continue that. Okay? So if you need any help with this, let me know. But your action step is to jump onto the EAP website. It is eapaa.org.au, and go and have a look at the employer organisations there, and contact them and just see if they've got any, if they're taking counsellors at the moment and what the process is. Go and join up with them. And the other thing too is, if you're already seeing EAP clients and you're nearly at the end of your sessions with them, start having conversations, planting the seeds, preparing them for the next step so that they don't feel anxious. We don't want a re-exacerbation of any anxiety. We don't want them feeling stressed because, oh no, we've only got 1 session left. We want them to feel like there's a plan, because it's in knowing that there's a plan that they're going to settle more and they're going to get more out of their time with you, and hopefully start to see some improvement in their well-being and functioning. So I hope this really helped. And it's going to help you with the money side of your private practice too. But if you have any questions, let me know. I'll put the EAP website in the comments for you as well, so you can go and check it out, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.